All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I'm Is There No One Else? In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the website that has literally saved me millions of gold. I don't try to speak in hyperbole. I've been doing theory crafting for the Elder Scrolls Online for years now, and this site I've used for at least the last I'm pretty sure the last 3 years, and the amount of gold that it saves me is a lot. And so I wanted to go into it. I wanted to show you guys some things and what you can do and how this is saving me so much gold. So I'll provide a link in the description, but this is the ESO build editor. And yeah, this is the front page for it. So you create a build, you can give it a name, you can give your race, Mundus Stone, total champion points, what vampire you are, what vampire stage you are, or if you're not at all, you can say none. In, Cyrodiil, or out, enable CP. Is this a CP or no CP build? Racial passives, of course. Points in the stamina. Are you a werewolf? That's the front page. Items. These are the different items, your set pieces. You can change your traits, reinforced, nern, infused, impen, whatever you want to run. You can change those adjustments and you can see what it looks like. You can change your enchants on here too. You can go in here and change your enchants, all the enchants you could want for body pieces. Change your monster sets, change your jewelry. Really easy. And you got your food and drink. And so this is just a build that I was looking at on the editor a while back. It's just Plague Break and Trickery. Sound familiar? But yeah, with Death Dealer's Feet. Now this shows you different sets with different modifiers. And so what this will show you is you can do what your setup will look like with Death Dealers off, out of combat, and with Death Dealers on, in combat. You can do it with 500 ult, 300 ult, whatever, and it'll change your stats. So you see our weapon damage is changing, and our penetration is changing and everything because, you know, we have a 500 ult Balord proc. So here's where you can put in your passives. So you go to skills, you have all your skill lines with your different passives you can put in. Buffs, I put in all the major buffs that I have on my character when I'm in PvP. So major brutality, major endurance, major intellect, all the fun stuff. And so just flying through this really quickly, this is where you input your CP. So you input the constellation, and then you throw the constellation up into the stars. And so that way they're all equipped and they're ready to go. And yeah. Raw data mitigation I found is a little iffy sometimes, so I wouldn't mess with these too much, but this is a good way for you to compare and contrast builds. And where do I use this? Typically, when I have a build that I like and when I enjoy, and something tickles my fancy, like something comes along the way where it's like, oh, that's an interesting set. I wonder what it would look like on my build. Literally every single patch. Like you want to compare these things with new sets and see what your numbers kind of look like. I'll throw them in here in the editor and I'll do some comparisons. Like, okay, this is what it would look like on my setup. And you kind of know after a while what you want for your recovery, what you want for your max stats. Like typically you guys have a benchmark for how much health you want, how much stamina or magicka recovery you have, and these are what you can input. And it'll give you a tooltip damage for your different set, for your different skills and abilities. And so it's very useful. And so then what you can do is once you have your build set up, your original build, you can go, oh man, like I'm really curious about this setup. I want to create a copy. And so you see save build up here. You have to save your build before you refresh or quit. If you don't save your build, it goes away. Keep that in mind. I don't want to go too in depth on this website because there's a lot to talk about. Like this could be a 15-minute video, and I did this 2 or 3 years ago. So we're just doing a quick one, but you do create copy. And so then this will literally copy the template for this build over to another page. And so then you can input other things. And so you see how it says copy. And so it'll give you the same setup. And at this point I put Kid Marchers in instead of Plague Break. And so now I can compare and contrast Kid Marcher versus Plague Break. Now, obviously, with a set like Kid Marcher where you get minor vulnerability and stuff like that, where you're debuffing the enemy in certain ways, you're debuffing their healing, that's not going to show on tooltips and that's not going to show on stats. But if I wanted to run like Front Bar Clever Alchemist, I could do that and I could show stats and I go, okay, well, what do I want with Titanborn versus Clever Alch? And I can make these comparisons. And so instead of going out and farming all this gear, and getting the transmutes to infuse it, and getting the tri-stat glyphs in order to put prismatics on everything, and then golding out all the gear so that it's a similar comparison to the original build I was running, I can throw it all in the editor and I can say, is this interesting enough to try out compared to my current build? Because sometimes you put stuff in the editor and it's not close. And you're like, okay, well, I thought it'd be a little bit better than this, but I guess not, so I'm not gonna try it. But when it's close, or when it's interesting enough, like, okay, I kind of like the idea of Kid Marcher. I'm going to have to test this. Then you're going to have to go out and farm it. Then you're gonna have to go out and buy it, purchase it, update it and everything to try it out, and then have some real world application to see what those debuffs do. But until then, you can weed out a lot of different sets that way. And so if you think about the gold platings for gold jewelry, the prismatics, the transmutes, all the time you save not farming, not upgrading every single set that you think looks kind of interesting, because let's be honest, there's a lot of sets out there that look interesting but just shouldn't, like, they wouldn't make it through this simple testing. They wouldn't make it because they're not as good. And so you can do different comparisons. So you see I'm running Death Dealers, so I could take Death Dealers off and I could put Market on. Market, I think, is currently bugged on this actually, so that's a bad example, but I could put Malakath on. And so I can go Malakath and I can do Infused, and it'll show me my tooltips on here, and then I can compare Malakath versus this. So you see I'm losing a lot of max stats, but I got the 15%, 16% flat damage. And so these are the different comparisons you can do on the editor. And so I'm not joking when this has saved me millions of gold. Like if you look at PCNA, prismatics, what are they, 40 to 50K gold per? Let's say they're 40. So 40, 80, 120, 160, 200, 240, 280K gold for the prismatics just for the body pieces. And then you go through the tempering alloys and you go through the chromium platings. And yeah, you're talking 5, 6, 700K gold to try out a build that you could have potentially weeded out before you even got there. You save that 700K gold so that you can go invest into lusty Argonian maids at the local bar the way RK would have wanted. Okay, so sorry, it's just true though. It's just true. So if you guys have any questions or comments, like I said, I wanted to make this video short and to the point. I'm trying to do more videos like this to help people at different aspects of the game. I did do this video like 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm gonna throw all videos like this into a folder so that you guys can go and reach out and you know, see what you need and what you don't need, and hopefully I help somebody with this video, because yeah, this video has saved me lots of gold that I don't have to spend on this, and I can go to the tavern with. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. I'll do my best to answer it. As always, guys, thank you for watching.